All right. Hello, everybody. It is Thanksgiving Eve. And I don't know about you, but it is time to go ahead and get started. If you haven't already, prepping some of your Thanksgiving items, some of your meats, some of your sides. Oh my goodness. There is so much to do. And a lot of it is tedious. So I pulled my hair back and got my little First Lady's Kitchen motivation t-shirt on. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. There is so much to do, but I think that we can do it if we go ahead and get started. So um, let me just set my phone down, you guys, and I am ready to get started in the kitchen. Let's wash hands. All right, let's do that first. Hello, everybody. Hi, Miss Cheeks. Gay Williams, how you doing? What are you guys getting ready to cook? I know that I'm I'm trying to pace myself this year. I'm trying to not cook so many desserts because I've been on this low carb thing. So, which is really good. I've been feeling a lot better. So I am so happy to be feeling a lot better. Shed a few pounds, a little bit, you know. But now it's time to go ahead and do this Thanksgiving thing. Hello, everybody. Y'all come on in. All right, I'm just doing some sweet potatoes. I'm going to go ahead and boil them. I have my pot here, my big pot. I'm just gonna go ahead and put some cold water in here. I'm gonna make sweet potato pies. And so I just give these sweet potatoes a pretty good little scrub. Oh, thank you, Miss Cheeks. Thank you. Yeah, I am really feeling a lot better. Thankfully, and just thank you guys for your prayers. I work so hard. I work so much. I don't really get to do videos like I really want to. I'm not Israeli. No, I'm not. I went to Israel on a mission trip, and it was a blessing. And I kept this necklace as a reminder to always pray for Israel, to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They're constantly having issues and danger and things like that. So I always pray for Israel, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. It was a great trip that we took. And so that's when I bought this necklace. But yeah, so I just have like four of these pretty large sweet potatoes, and they're really pretty. Um, and they had them on sale, which I was really happy. I don't know about you guys, but you guys leave me a comment and let me know what you were able to find this year on sale, because like I was really happy this year that a lot of the prices have gone down. Oh my gosh, eggs were like $1.97 a pound, a dozen. I'm sorry, eggs were $1.97 a dozen. I was so happy I got like 3 or 4 dozen, because you know when you baking, you know, a couple years ago I feel like the eggs were like so astronomically high. But I think I got these sweet potatoes. They were like 68 cents a pound or something like that. And some places had them even lower. So I just, I got four pretty big ones, and this will make two pies. So as you can see, I've got the water here, and I'm spilling it, but I've got the water here for my sweet potatoes. So they're just gonna go over to the oven, and on top of the stove, I'm just going to turn the stove on real quick. And some people do like to boil theirs. That's the way I do mine. I boil my sweet potatoes. Um, Some people like to bake their sweet potatoes for their sweet potato pie. It's really just totally up to you. I like to boil them. And the reason why they peel off so easy, just under cold water. So I just like to just boil them for about an hour. So that's what I do for my sweet potato pie. I boil them, and they really do peel very easily once I boil them for about an hour. And I have the lid here, so I'm just gonna cover it. So you guys, this is the season for giving thanks. And so I am so excited this year to just have a few days off from work and to be able to relax a little bit and do a little bit of cooking, which is really what I like to do. Thank you for saying that you love the chicken dressing recipe. It's funny because I did that video, I guess about, yeah, this channel is 9 years old now. And so honestly, it was just one of those things to where my husband was like, why don't you just make a video? And I was like, make a video? What are you talking about? And he was like, just make a video and show how you do your chicken and dressing. And so that's what I did. And it really, I mean, it just took off. And it's an easy recipe. It's a simple recipe. And a lot of people like it. It's got a lot of views. So thank you for saying that. The funny thing is that, you know, they've changed up some of the things that you buy. But like when I do my cornbread, I really, really like to have, like, it used to be Aunt Jemima, but now it's Pearl Milling. I think they changed the name, but where I live, this is all I have in the store. But I still like to get the buttermilk cornmeal mix. And this is the hot rye. So this is the Martha White. It's not my favorite in terms of like cornmeal mix. I really like the Pearl Milling the best, but sometimes I can't find it in the store. So I just use this instead. But I am so thankful for all of you, thankful to my subscribers, people who consistently come back to the channel and watch the videos. I don't get to post as much as I used to. Sometimes I'll do a short here or there, but I really, really am grateful for all the subscribers. So thank you guys so much for watching. And leave me a comment whenever you get a chance and let me know how you doing. Let me know what you're making. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're making. This is the pan I'm going to use for some cornbread. The big pan, I may have to do 2 of these because this is not the biggest one. But actually, it's kind of deep, which is really good. So I can make a good amount of cornbread with this. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with the cornbread. And the first thing that I really like to do when I am making cornbread is I like to get the skillet hot. So that's really what I really want to do, is try to get the skillet hot. So I start off with some oil, and this is just regular canola oil. And so basically, I just kind of put some oil in the bottom of this skillet, and I don't really measure it. I just kind of go for it. So I usually try to get it to where it's coated at the bottom really good, and to where it's some excess that's left over. And so you can kind of see, if I pull it over, you can see just how there's some excess, a little bit left over in there. So that's going to move around, and that's going to go in to my cornbread mixture. So this has to go in the oven. So I've already preheated my oven to 400. That's what that noise was that you just heard. So this is just going to go in the oven, and it's going to go in there, and it's going to get hot while I go ahead and make the cornbread. So that is just kind of doing step-by-step prep. You know how it is, Thanksgiving. It's that time of year. I'm just going to use this bowl here. And there's a glass bowl that I might use. I don't know if it's going to be. Yeah, I might use this glass bowl instead just because it will be able to hold the cornbread mixture, especially when I get ready to add that hot grease. I don't want to add it into that plastic bowl. So I'm just kind of washing, rinsing off these dishes. They are already clean, but I'm just sort of rinsing them off and getting ready to use them. So the cornbread is really simple. You guys already know how to make it, but it really is like the foundation for your cornbread dressing. So I don't use any of the prepackaged mix for the cornbread. I like to just sort of make it from scratch. So this is the cornmeal mix, which means that it already has like the stuff that you need in it, the baking powder and all of those ingredients, like the baking powder, baking soda, all that stuff is already in this mix. So to this mixture, I'm really just going to only add milk, eggs, and I think I'm gonna add a Jiffy mix to it as well. So because I'm probably gonna do 2 of these, 2 pans of cornbread will make quite a bit of dressing for my family. So I'll start off with 1 pan, and then I think I will probably have to do 2. So the way that you can really do this is you could just take, and I don't really measure this, I just kind of eyeball it, but it's easy Southern cornbread. That pretty much is the way you make it, because it gives you a recipe on the back of the package. 1 teaspoon of vegetable shortening, 1 large egg, 1 1/3 cups milk, 1/4 cup vegetable oil, and then 2 cups of this cornmeal mix. And so, I mean, I don't usually, I just kind of go off of sort of how it looks, but it generally is pretty close to that recipe that's on the back of the package. The way that I tweak it though is I add a little bit of Jiffy. And the reason why I do this is because I like for it to be a little bit more yellow, the color, and a little bit sweeter, but not too sweet, just a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make 2 pans probably. So I'll start off with probably just doing half of this along with this, the cornmeal mix, okay? So I'm gonna grab the eggs, and depending upon how much you're making, that really determines how many eggs you need. And so in my case, I generally will do 2 eggs. The recipe calls for 1, but I usually like to do 2. So let me grab a couple of eggs. And the milk. And this is the 2% milk, but you can use whole milk. It's totally up to you. Thank you, Chago. Hello. Thank you for tuning in. And okay, so while you guys are watching, I'm just gonna try my best to kind of do this where you can kind of see it. Move some stuff out of the way. I got my big spoon here. So I always love the holidays because I love cooking for my family, and I love just being able to like have a few days off and just relax and not have to worry about work, right? Because we work so hard throughout the year. It's like when the holidays come, we want to take a break, right? All right, so that's what I'm doing. I love to cook for my family, enjoy the holiday. It's just a blessed time of year. Okay, so you can see that that is, because this bag, this is a small one. It only has like 32 ounces, which is 2 pounds. So I'm probably doing like 16 ounces, you know, like basically 2 cups of cornmeal. And then I'll do half of this Jiffy because I'm gonna make 2. So I'll do half now and I'll do the other half later. So you can see I've just done like half. And I just sort of just move it around. And you can already see that it's, you know, helps to kind of change the color and the texture when you start adding the other ingredients in here, right? So I'm just moving out some of the lumps. Now remember, all of this is like happening while you are making your other things. So it's like my potatoes are already on, my sweet potatoes. So like the way to do it is to try to do it all together so that, you know, in about maybe 4 hours, you're done prepping, right? Because if you do everything like one at a time, like I have to finish this before I can start this, it's like it will take so long to get everything done. So that's the reason why I try to do it all at the same time. I'm prepping for Thanksgiving. So what's on your Thanksgiving menu? You guys let me know. What is on your Thanksgiving menu? What are you making? Are you doing everything traditional or are you going a different route? And so, like, are you making things that are different from what you normally make? All right, I got a bowl here. I'm just gonna crack the eggs. Crack the eggs. I remember one time I asked my husband, I said, honey, do you want to do something different this year? Do you want to make something different from what we normally make? Do you want to do something a little non-traditional? And he was like, no. He was like, let's just keep it regular. Let's keep it like we always do. So that's fine. So that's what we do. Every now and then I'll put a little twist here and there, make something a little different on the side. But we love, love, love our either chicken and dressing or turkey and dressing. So I'm just gonna add the milk. And again, I'm just sort of just eyeballing it because you want the consistency to be pretty smooth. So sometimes it ends up being about a cup or more cup. But you have to get it to the consistency that you want it to be at. I don't like it too thick, but I don't like it too thin either. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Ruth. How are you doing, Ruth Edwards, 2950? Hello, and happy Thanksgiving to you. What are you making for Thanksgiving? And look, are you hosting? That's the question. Are you hosting this year or are you going somewhere else and letting somebody else do all the hosting? That's the question. A lot of times, just because of the kids and all, they kind of want to come to one place. So we will typically host and we will everybody will kind of like congregate over with us. But my kids have hosted before, and I feel like they're going to be doing more hosting in the future as well. But I think right now they're just, we try to do a little vacation, which makes it really nice to have a little vacation time. Now remember that I have put the skillet in the oven so that it can get hot. That grease that's in there, that canola oil, so that it can get hot. So remember I added Jiffy to it to give it a little bit more sweetness. Now I'm just gonna add the eggs and get them all mixed in. 2 eggs for this. You can already see how it's coming together. And another reason like to add the Jiffy is that it gives it sort of a softer cornbread texture, which makes it really good as well. So like I said, I'm just adding half of it for this batch, and then I'm going to do another batch, which is going to make 2 pans of cornbread. So when this batch comes out, I'll let it cool, and then I will move it to a different container and put the other mixture in, make another batch of this cornbread. All right, so the oven is preheated at 400. Now this is a different oven. Because you guys know that whenever we go on vacation, we're using somebody else's oven at the rental, right? So it's like sometimes we go on vacation, it's like we're playing Russian roulette. Because it's like, okay, we don't know how these ovens are gonna cook, we don't know how these stoves are gonna cook, but we're just gonna try to make it work, right? Because honestly, we're so happy just to have a little time off. We don't really care where we go as long as we go together. I don't know about you, but that's the way I feel. Hey, no one going to Ohio? Oh, yeah. Happy Thanksgiving, Ohio. Wow, yeah. What's the weather doing there? It's sunny and 75 degrees here. All right, so I'm gonna pull the skillet out, and I'm gonna put a little bit of that hot oil into this mixture, and then it's gonna go right back into the oven. Let's hope I can do this without burning myself, y'all. All right, so you can see this grease. See real quick. Ooh, it's just gonna go in. You should hear a sizzle. All right, so that's what you want, guys. You want that sizzle, right? So that tells you that your grease is hot. It tells you that your skillet is hot. And so, here we go again. Every time I cook, the smoke alarm. This oven doesn't like me. You just have to, yeah, it's just telling me that I'm doing a little bit too much. But whenever it smells or senses any kind of smoke, it goes off. So now I've just stirred that oil in. Now it's gonna go right into this skillet. Woo! The fan, if I turn the fan on, my husband's saying turn the fan on, but it'll make too much noise. So let's just hope that it won't go off again. It's just that little bit when I open that oven, so let's hope. And we've got the window open, so that will help too. Okay, so now you can see this cornbread mixture. Hope you guys can see it. All right, so it's gonna go right in to the oven. You can see the oil going around there. But anyway, let me get this right into the oven, y'all. Hopefully without a disaster. And so this is going to cook in the oven about 40 minutes until it's golden brown. Okay, so that is part one of the cornbread. Okay, so part one of the cornbread is in the oven. Yeah, I've been to Ohio. Ruth Edwards, I've been to Ohio. I've been to Columbus. I've been to Cleveland. I've been to Akron, Ohio. So I've been to a few places there in Ohio. I think the football Hall of Fame is there too. I haven't had a chance to go to that. I'm just washing up some of my dishes here. Trying to clean up as I go so that the kitchen won't be a disaster while I'm trying to cook. Yeah, so you guys haven't put in the chat what y'all are making. What are you cooking? And what are you thankful for? Tell me both so we can have a conversation while we cook. I know the hard part really about Thanksgiving is the prep work. That's why I really like to do a lot of the prep work a day ahead or a couple of days ahead. Like, we're not cooking a whole lot, but the things that we are cooking, it's gonna be beneficial to go ahead and cook a little bit of it the day before, so that tomorrow when we get up, we do not have to be cooking all day. Like, we want to be like, we want to wake up and relax a little bit and get everything warmed up and cook the final things, like the little side dishes, stuff that only takes a little while. We can definitely do that tomorrow. But like a lot of the main stuff, you definitely want to get done the day before, because it's going to really help you, save you on time, right? If you're like me, you want to save on time. Okay, so my sweet potatoes are boiling. So I'm trying to think about everything that I could do prep-wise. Trying to think of everything that I can do today so that I won't have so much to do tomorrow. And you know, like, you have to kind of be like wise about like how you cook your food and how you time everything, because like certain things have to go in the oven, and like when your cakes and your pies are in the oven, you don't want to have a whole bunch of stuff in the oven crowding them out, because if that's the case, then you know it'll take forever for them to cook and they won't cook evenly, you know, if everything is like crowded in the oven. But definitely we're trying to get as much as we possibly can done today. I need to turn the oven light on just so I can keep an eye on the cornbread while it's cooking. And it's cooking on 400, which sometimes I have to do like 350, but it really depends on the stove. It depends on the oven. Whatever you have to do, you know your oven. You know your oven. Yes, you do. Okay. All right, let me put some stuff away. Let's see, what else are we gonna do next? So I kind of want to make some deviled eggs, or as some people say, angel eggs. But I just want to have something like as an appetizer, and these probably will not last till tomorrow. We will probably nibble on these all evening. So I'm not gonna make a whole lot of them. I just boiled a few eggs just to have like a few to nibble on the side. And what I love about these eggs is you can really put whatever you want on the top of them. Like I've made the shrimp ones with the little shrimp on top. You can make the ones with like a little jalapeno on top of the eggs. Of course, I'm gonna do a little bacon, just some bacon bits. And so the only ingredients that I really use is like, I use sandwich spread and I just use mustard. And then sometimes you could do, of course, like paprika on top, you know, to give it a little color, or like some seasoning, Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning or something, just to give it a little more flavor on top. But we love to eat these eggs because they are protein packed, you know, because I was saying I was trying not to do so many carbs. And so this is an easy way to like not have to do so many carbs, and it's a protein snack. So I'm just gonna peel these eggs that I already boiled. So, and once I peel them, I just sort of just give them a good rinsing, and they go right on the plate here. So you can see right on the plate. And I love these eggs because you get two, right, for the price of one. So when you slice them in half, you get two. You get two halves, right, for one egg. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just peeling these eggs. What kind of appetizers are you guys making? Let me know. What kind of appetizers are you making for Thanksgiving? Are you making like a charcuterie board, like for people to just kind of graze? I love, love, love charcuterie boards. Meats and cheeses and fruit. And I think a lot of people are doing that now because it's really handheld. You don't need utensils for the appetizer. You're basically just setting out meats and cheese, nuts. You are like, you could put some, what do you call it? Those pita chips, and you could do some crostini if you want to do that, or you could put out some chocolates. Another egg. I think I have 5 of these, so this will make 10 good deviled eggs. I probably should have boiled. I think I ate one, so I was gonna have 6 total, but I ate one, so I only have 5. So we'll have 10 total when we get through slicing them in half. But they're so easy to peel because they just peel right off. Okay. And now that I say that, this one is giving me trouble. As soon as I say it's easy to peel. But how do you guys get your eggs shells to peel when you make these eggs? A lot of times if you run it under some water, it helps too, to kind of let it just kind of peel right off, which that is a good way to do it too. But sometimes you get one that's stubborn and sticky like this one. The other ones were perfect and they peeled off really easily. Okay. I guess a lot of people are doing their cooking. Had some people to come on and say hello. Thank you guys for watching. Actually, I'm just Thanksgiving prepping, getting my dinner ready for tomorrow, cooking some stuff today so that I won't have so much to cook on tomorrow. Okay, so I've got the eggs. I'll just throw away my mess here. All right. Potatoes are boiling, yay! Sweet potatoes are boiling, so we can have some dessert. Okay, is anybody still on? What are you guys up to? What are you making for tomorrow? Let me know in the chat. What are you doing? Are you doing a turkey? Are you doing a ham? Are you doing what sides are you doing? I think we're gonna have the usual sides, which is basically your macaroni and cheese and your green beans. I'm gonna do some turnip greens, turnip and mustard greens actually, which I think that's gonna be really good because I like to mix those two greens, turnip greens and mustard greens together just because I like the flavor of both of them together. Okay, you guys, you can see my eggs right here and I have my little bowl. So I'm just gonna slice these eggs and put them in the bowl here. So basically I just take my knife and I just go across the middle like that, and there you have it. And then I put the insides of them into the bowl, and so that part is empty now. And I just do that with all of them until I am done. And this is such an easy appetizer to make. And who doesn't love eggs, right? I know some people are allergic to them, but I'm so glad I'm not allergic to eggs, because if I was allergic to eggs, I wouldn't have anything to eat, just because I eat eggs so much for protein. Okay, so yeah, thank you guys for liking the video. Like this video, and if you haven't already, you can please subscribe to my channel. I'm just making some angel eggs here. And you can see that I am just slicing them in half and putting the yolk in the bowl. And so now I have this, and I'm just, since I'm only making a few just for us to like snack on, I have made so many deviled eggs before. It's like, oh, it's kind of a tedious process if you're making a lot of them. But they taste so good, so it's so worth it, right? Okay, so now that I have my little eggs here, I'm just gonna take the yolk part, start off with the mustard, okay? And just making sure that was open. Okay, so 2 big squeezes of that. And then just sandwich bread. This is the Great Value brand at Walmart, but you can use the Kraft. I think some people use like mayonnaise and then they add like sweet relish to it and things like that. And I do have some dill relish that I probably will add. So let me see, can I find that? So this is some dill relish. So I will add a little of that too. Since I'm only making a little bit. Two scoops of that. And then I just start the mashing process. And it's really just that simple. You're just making the filling to go inside the eggs. And I'm gonna add a little of the dill relish. You can use sweet relish too. I like dill. So these are gonna be really, really good. Like a dill pickle. Okay, so if I need a little bit more of the sandwich bread, just to give it a little bit more sweetness. Okay. It's beginning to smell a lot like Thanksgiving. Starting to smell like Thanksgiving. I always say you're not cooking until you can like smell it. It starts to smell like the holidays in your house. I want to make some cookies, but I'm not sure what kind of cookies I want to make. I may just do like some, let me put a little on my finger and just taste it. Ooh, it's thick. Just want to see if it's right. Oh, wow. Oh, that is so good, you guys. All right. And you can really taste that dill relish. Oh, my. Okay, so let me use a little bit more. Just a little bit more of the sandwich bread. And you can make this as smooth as you want. You can see. Okay, now I'm ready to just fill these eggs. See how easy this is? Just fill in the eggs. One by one, just filling them. Woo! They almost flipped out. All right, so let's continue filling the eggs. And I'm gonna eat one too, you guys. So it's gonna be hard for these to stick around today. And I like to fill them up as much as possible. Okay, that's pretty much all the filling. I used it all, like one scoop left, but I want to make sure I'm filling these up to the brim with plenty of filling for these eggs. Cornbread is starting to smell too, so I'll check on that. Want to make sure it gets nice and brown. All right, I'll set that to the side. I'm gonna find the paprika, see what I can do with that. Oh my gosh, this bread is already almost ready. Let me turn it down. Let's see. I didn't know the bread was gonna cook that fast. Goodness gracious, that bread is almost done. Let me check and pull it out. I'm gonna put, let's see if I can find the paprika. Do I have any paprika? Did I bring it? Ooh, I could probably just do this. One of my, I think I do have some paprika somewhere. Hold on. Yep, I do. Okay. Hey, Brianna, how are you? I was making some deviled eggs for appetizer. My cornbread's in the oven for my cornbread dressing. I'm making turkey and dressing. I'm gonna make sweet potato pies, and I'm gonna make a turkey. I'm just prepping for tomorrow, so. Okay, you can see the cornbread just came out of the oven. Woo, that thing is hot, you guys. But the cornbread just came out of the oven. Let me double check. Make sure it's the way it needs to be. But this is really how you want it to look. Woo! And I used cornmeal mix, and I used a little bit of Jiffy, so I mixed it because I like for it to be that yellow color. So I used both of these. That's the first batch of cornbread. I gotta do one more batch of cornbread. How are you? I'm glad you're watching. Thank you for watching, Brianna. I was just making some deviled eggs so I could have something to snack on while I'm cooking for tomorrow. What are you making tomorrow? Let me know. What are you making? I'm gonna put a little bit of paprika and some Creole seasoning on top of these eggs. Just to give it a little color. Paprika gives it a little darker color. Doesn't add much flavor, a little bit, but just. All right, there you have it. These are the eggs. So you can see those eggs. I hope you can see them. Trying to see if my camera can show them. I'll just, oh, you're making a turkey. You're making a turkey, that's great. Show you these eggs. I put a little paprika and a little Tony Chachere's on them, and one of my favorite seasonings, Creole. But that's for just to have a little appetizer. So let me taste one. You know we have to taste in First Lady's kitchen. I'm gonna put a little bit of bacon bits on top. Not on all of them, just a couple of them. Okay, you're gonna do with your family? Okay, so I'm just gonna sprinkle a little of these on top of a couple of, 3 or 4 of these, and then I'll taste one. Okay, so here we go with the egg, the deviled egg or angel eggs, whatever you want to call them, with a little bacon on top. All right, let's taste. That's good. I don't think these are gonna last till tomorrow, but we'll see. We shall see. All right. I'm still trying to figure out how my cornbread got done so fast. This oven is crazy. I just want to make sure. I guess I'll cover these and put these in the refrigerator. If somebody wants a snack, appetizer or something, they could just nibble on an egg. I'll just cover these up. I know it's gonna mess up the top of them, but that's okay. They need to go in the refrigerator so the eggs can stay cold. So this is a rotisserie that I got from Walmart, and I'm gonna use the chicken breast from this rotisserie to make a gravy to go over the dressing for tomorrow. So it does call for a couple of ingredients. I'll start with boiling an egg because I like to put at least 1 egg in my. It's like chicken gravy because I'm not using my turkey because I want to keep my whole turkey intact, but I'm just going to use. I'm going to use the rotisserie, the chicken meat. So I'm probably just going to go ahead and take some of that off of the bone. For the gravy. And I really like to have some kind of gravy to go on top of my cornbread dressing with my cranberry sauce and all that. So you can easily just get a rotisserie and use the chicken breast and the thigh meat or whatever and just chop it up. And oh, thank you. This is not my house. I wish it was, but no, we're at the condo trying to have a little bit of R&R. But this is the condo where we are for getting a little rest and relaxation. And I usually just cook in the kitchen. Although I'm not used to any of these appliances, so I'm always nervous as to how stuff is gonna turn out. But thank you so much. Let me get a knife. It's not much to see. This is the kitchen in the condo, but it's not much else to really see. I'm going to, let me see, I'm gonna, all right, so I'm gonna use a cutting board. I'm gonna use a cutting board just to cut up some of this chicken off the bone that I'm gonna use for the gravy. Now, I'll show you the easiest way to make gravy. It's really as simple as like 1, 2, 3 because I'm doing the cheap version of gravy for the dressing. So the easiest thing to do when you make gravy is I just use chicken broth. And I usually like to do the reduced sodium because it is, let's see, it's per 1 cup, it's 460 milligrams, so it's a little less sodium. And then, of course, I use cream of chicken, and it has a lot of sodium too. And so I usually will do that for the gravy, maybe add a little bit of water. I use a little bit of like the broth from my actual turkey in there too, just to give it a little rich flavor. But this is the easiest way to make any kind of turkey gravy. Sometimes they call it giblet gravy, but I don't like the giblets. I just like to use like meat, either chicken breast or turkey breast. All right, so I take a pot here, and when I get done with the gravy, I usually put it in a container and I just put it in the refrigerator overnight. And then all we have to do the next day is we just heat it up. So this is my pot here. I'm just gonna take this rotisserie and I'm going to take it out of the package. You can get these rotisseries anywhere, like any grocery store. They all have these already cooked rotisseries. And I usually just do like the regular original flavor. I don't really get some of the other ones. They have like a lemon pepper. Sometimes they have a lemon pepper. They have like a Cajun or whatever. But to me, the best is just to get the original. So I'm just gonna cut across this chicken breast here. And you don't have to have a lot, but you do want to have like some meat to give it flavor. So that's what I try to do. Give me just a second here. I'm gonna cut into it. So I'm gonna cut into this chicken, this rotisserie chicken, across that breast. And this is, you know, when you have leftover chicken, leftover rotisserie chicken, you can make an awesome chicken salad. I don't know if you've ever tried that, but when you have a leftover rotisserie chicken and you don't know what to do with it, you can make a chicken soup, a homemade chicken soup. But I just took like a piece off. As you can see, I took a piece off of that breast, and that's really all you need. And the rest of it can go back in that packaging and we can finish it off for dinner tonight. Because, you know, nobody's really cooking. We're just kind of eating leftovers or whatever we can find in the kitchen until tomorrow. Tomorrow is the really day. Yeah, so I'm glad to be not working today. Brianna, are you working today? Are you off today? You have the holiday off? I am just so happy to not have to work today. So I'm just like chopping this up. As you can see, I'm just chopping it up. And it's gonna go right into the pan. sometimes when we go on vacation, I forget some of my main utensils that I need. So it happens quite a bit. So I learned to just make do with what I have. Oh, you're off today. Okay, good. But yeah, it's good to be off today because I know people who have to work today and then they end up having to come home after work and start the cooking process. And that makes you so tired when you've been at work all day and then you got to turn around and cook all the Thanksgiving dinner after you get off from work. So, but this is the cream of chicken and this is the reduced sodium chicken broth. And I basically just go into the pot with the chicken broth. Oh, you going to your son's grandma at Oklahoma? Oh, wonderful. That's wonderful. So you get to relax a little bit. Somebody else gets to host, so you don't have to host. That's awesome. I'm just gonna pour in about, let's see, this is a 32-ounce carton of chicken broth. So I'm just probably gonna do about half of this right into this saucepan. Okay, so once I get it in here, then I'm just going to add the can of cream of chicken. And like I said, y'all, this is the cheat way. There is a way to do this to where everything is from scratch. But like I said, because I am trying to cut corners and ease my load a little bit, I'm not doing everything from scratch. I know how to make it from scratch, and I don't know if I did a video on that, but I do know how to make it all from scratch, where you use the chicken from, you use the turkey broth from your turkey and you put it in your saucepan and you get flour and thickener and all that good stuff. But this makes it thick on its own here, and then also what I really like about it is it gives it a good chicken flavor, right? So because it's chicken, cream of chicken, and then I'm putting chicken also in it, and it's gonna have a good chicken flavor. So then the main thing to do now is to just sort of stir it. I have a whisk at home, but I did not bring it, unfortunately. But I'm just making it smooth. That's really all I'm doing, is just making it smooth. So I'm just making it smooth. Moving out the lumps a little bit. Hey, how you doing, Miss Queen? How you doing? It's so good to see you. Happy Thanksgiving to you. What are you cooking? What are you cooking? I know you're gonna have the kitchen going this evening. It's good to hear from you. We haven't talked in a while because I have been so busy and I have not been able to do anything on videos. I tell you, it's been work, 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 work. So I'm happy to have a few days off this week. So that's what I'm doing now, is just trying to cook. So a couple of things. A couple of things that I do like to add. I like to add sage, and I like to add poultry seasoning to this mixture, okay? And it's really gonna flavor it up. It's gonna thicken up. And let me find some of my stuff, Lord, I just don't know where it all is. Okay, I found it. So I'm gonna add the sage and some poultry seasoning to this gravy. And like I said, my mom used to make like giblet gravy, like legit, real giblet gravy with the giblets from the turkey. Or if she did a chicken, she would use the giblets from the chicken. And that's how I like started making it. But everybody in my house, they don't necessarily like giblets like that. So they were like, Mom, don't put that in there. They were like, don't put that in there. And I'm just like, that's the way Mama made it. They were like, no, we don't like that. So I just kind of started just using chicken. So if it's too thick, oh, you making dressing, collard greens, potato salad, broccoli rice casserole, corn muffins. Oh, a lemon cream cheese pound cake. Oh my gosh. That sounds so good. And sweet potato pies and a banana pudding. You go. That's the way to do it. You are doing it. Miss Queen, you are doing it. Cinderella Queen. So like I said, if it's too thick, you can add a little bit more. If it's too thin, you can add a little bit more to make it thick. And it's only going to thicken as it cooks on top of the stove. So the main thing to do is to just get it flavored the way you want it. So I'm just gonna try to get it flavored with the sage. Ooh, I gotta open up these because these are brand new, y'all. I just got these from the store. And trying to see if I can do it without breaking a nail. Okay. Okay, so I do a little sage. Don't you love, ooh, y'all, don't you love the smell of sage? Oh, it's so good to see you again, too, Miss Cinderella Queen. And I am so glad that you are cooking up all that good food. Because you know what? That's what helps us to have our families to enjoy the holidays when we cook. They come over. It's like they know that we are going to be right here cooking and enjoying everybody's company. So it is so good. Oh, I love sage. And this is the poultry season, so I add a little of this too for this gravy. And Lord, you guys know I'm not measuring anything, but you kind of do this to taste. So it ends up being probably about a teaspoon. And it changes the color of your gravy, obviously, right? Because it has that sort of turkey gravy type look to it, you know? And if I had my whisk, which I forgot to bring my whisk on this trip, but you just smooth it out real good, whisk it out real good. And so this part kind of goes over to the stove. So this is the part where I have to go over to the stove. So you guys come over with me to the stove. Okay, so you can see that I need to probably turn my light on over here. But you can see the cornbread that I made. The cornbread. I'm gonna move this cornbread over to the side because I need to use this spot right here. So it's still a little bit hot. Let me grab my pot holder. My egg, I use 1 egg in my giblet gravy. Fake giblet gravy because we're not using real giblets. Okay, so I'm just moving that over. You can see that egg boiling. But I'm just gonna put this pot on the stove here. So you guys can see what I'm doing. I turn my camera just so y'all can go ahead on and see. And I am making the sweet potatoes. They are boiling. That's the way that I like to do it because, like I said, when they get done boiling, they are so easy to just peel under cold water. So you can see that I'm just making this gravy here. So So you went to the farmer's market. Oh my gosh. And Walmart. See, I went yesterday. And the thing of it is that when I went yesterday, nobody, they were like just, let's see what day was that. I went yesterday. There wasn't very many people in the stores. When I went on Monday, I went Monday to get the majority of the stuff. There was like nobody in the stores. It was just a few people. So I can only imagine what it's going to be like today in the grocery store. I can only imagine, y'all. It's going to be something to see. I told the workers when I was in Walmart and I was in Publix, I went to Publix too. I told the workers, I was like, y'all get ready because you guys are about to get ready to get hit hard. And they were like, yeah, this is the calm before the storm, right? So totally, I'm sure the stores are overcrowded. I'm glad you got in and got what you needed and got on out. Y'all can see that I'm trying to like smooth out these. Once it starts to cook, I think these little lumps are gonna smooth out, but I probably can use a fork to try to get some of them smoothed out. Because I forgot my whisk, y'all. How in the world did I forget my whisk? That's the one thing that I cook with. But I did bring my mixer because you know I can't leave home without my mixer. But whenever we go on these trips, I'm telling you, it's always something I forget. So I'm just gonna use this fork and just kind of smooth out some of this. But this is the gravy for tomorrow that's gonna go on top of the dressing. So it's just basically a can and a half of cream of chicken soup, and then of course it is the reduced sodium chicken broth and the sage and the poultry seasoning. And then now I'm gonna add the chicken, and then the last thing I'll add will be that boiled egg that will go in there. Okay, now you guys let me know, do you guys put boiled egg in your turkey gravy? I do. I've been doing it for a long time, and it just, I mean, it's just, I don't know, it just wouldn't be the same without it. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a little of this. You can see this chicken, I'm just gonna add a little of it into this gravy, y'all. Okay. And once the chicken gets in here and it just cooks on top of the stove for a little while, it really does thicken up. Right? It really does. So it's like once it gets in there, it begins to flavor it a little more too. So that's always good as well. And so I like to have little small pieces, but I also like to have bigger chunks, as you can see. So you can see that it's all going in, and that's it. And I just stir it in there, and you can actually taste it to see it's going to thicken up as it cooks on the stove. And then if you want to thicken it even more, because some people like it really thick, you can just add a little bit of flour and water in a cup and stir it, and it'll thicken like that too. So you guys know. But one of the main things that you really need to make this gravy is you need some black pepper. So I'm just gonna add some black pepper because that is really gonna give it that flavor, right? All right. Okay, y'all. I mean, really, once you get this done, you halfway there. You are halfway there. So what are you cooking today, Miss Queen, Miss Cinderella Queen? What are you making today? You gonna make everything today, or you gonna make everything tomorrow? Let's see. Okay, so I added the black pepper, and this is going to simmer on top of the stove. I'm just gonna make sure I got it tasting the way I want it to taste. I'm just gonna taste a little of it. Oh, you're doing the cornbread today? Okay, wonderful. Oh wow, that's great. That gravy is already good. Oh my goodness. It's already good, y'all. All right, so I put that spoon in the sink and I'll get me another spoon just to keep stirring. But yeah, I'm doing the cornbread today and I'm doing the pies today and I'm doing the, I don't know. I want to do a cake today. I want to do a cake today too. So we'll see if I get to where I'm like ready to sit it down. I may have to do some more stuff tomorrow. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. This cornbread dressing is gonna be good with that gravy on top. And you know how it is. Like today, everything tastes good, but tomorrow, you know, once everything sits in the refrigerator overnight, it's gonna really taste good tomorrow, right? It's gonna really be good tomorrow. So my potatoes look like they're almost ready. When they start coming up to the top and you can like stick a fork in them all the way through, you know they're done. Yep, I think these bad boys are done. And they're so big, so I was thinking to myself, I don't know, I may have like too many potatoes. We'll see. But the egg, I can go ahead and turn it off because I'm gonna put that boiled egg in the gravy here in just a little bit. So I'm just gonna turn this down and let it simmer. So the gravy is just gonna simmer. And I really think, you know, once I thicken it up, it's gonna be really good. Okay, so that is that on that. The potatoes are just about ready. So I need to go ahead and get my bowl together for that. And you know, it's hard to, yeah, you're right. Everything will marinate together overnight. And tomorrow it's gonna really be good. All right, so let me set my camera back over here and let's see if we can get everything going for the sweet potatoes here. Okay, so we can move some stuff over to the side here. I made these many times on, I think I made these a couple of times on camera, but sweet potatoes are ready. My bowl. That I'm going to use for the sweet potatoes. And I'm going to use butter. I need a stick of butter, and I use the unsalted butter. I just like to use the unsalted butter. I don't know why, because if I just add a pinch of salt to, you know, because when you're baking, you really just need like a pinch of salt. So okay, so you guys, I got the butter here, and it depends on how many sweet potatoes I have. I generally will do 3 eggs. So 3 eggs. I'll go ahead and take them out and get them seated over here so that they can start getting a little room temp. So it's really a simple recipe. Here's my salt, so I can have a pinch of salt. And of course, you gotta have the nutmeg, right? So this is the nutmeg. So I have nutmeg, a little salt. I've got to do the vanilla because you got to have vanilla. This is the kind that I like, you guys. I've tried this before and I really like it. It doesn't have corn syrup added. It's the Spice Islands pure vanilla extract. So I really like it. Of course, I have to have some sugar. Just regular sugar. And I've got to get the milk now. So I don't know if you guys do this, but I always use a baking sheet because I've had a situation to where like I really like for my pies to be filled. And because I like for them to be filled, that means that sometimes, hey, how are you doing, Jeremiah? How's it going? I always fill my pies too much, and this is gonna help if they overflow, right? So if you have a situation like me to where you kind of put too much filling in your pies and you don't want them to overflow, then you definitely want to put them on a cookie sheet. Okay, so let me set this over to the side. This is the pie crusts are already in the freezer. I'm gonna pull them out when it gets close to time. We got a long ways to go though. What is going on, Jeremiah? What is going on? How are you doing? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video. We are making pies. Let me grab a couple more ingredients and we're gonna be ready to get started. I gotta plug up my mixer here. And this is what I was saying, y'all. Now this is the one I can't leave home without my mixer. My little red mixer. My baby travels with me everywhere I go. My little red mixer. So I just plug this baby in, and this is what we're gonna use to put this pie together. I had a handheld mixer that I had gotten when I first got married, and I finally got a new one. Like that thing was like 35 years old. But oh, thank you, Jeremiah. Thank you for the gift. You are so kind. So this is my little mixer here, and I got it plugged up. I'm gonna go ahead and turn these sweet potatoes off because they are done. They are done. So now we know that they are ready. So I'm just gonna plug in my mixer. You guys, I have this kitchen. My kitchen is, I was trying to keep it clean, but it's starting to get a little bit, out of order, but that's okay. So I can't show you everything because I got stuff going everywhere. So now this is gonna be turned off. All right, so the gravy is off. I'm going to get the milk so that we can start the sweet potato process. All right, so let's do that. Watch this. Now the milk that I use evaporated milk, okay? And I typically will use a whole can of pet milk or evaporated milk. Whatever brand you like, evaporated milk. Whatever brand you have in the grocery store that's good. Most people have their favorite. Pet is a good brand. That's one of my favorites, Pet brand evaporated milk. Pet ice cream is good too. But like, depending on where you live, you know, I don't know where, you know, you live, but you may have a different brand of evaporated milk. But either way, use evaporated milk. So let me go get that. I'll be right back. All right, this is Baker's Corner. So this is the evaporated milk that they have at Aldi. You know I love Aldi. I've done so many videos at Aldi. But so the evaporated milk that I'm going to use is Baker's Choice. Baker's Corner, I should say. Baker's Corner. All right, so again, the ingredients are evaporated milk, a whole stick of butter, 3 eggs, nutmeg. That's the only spice, nutmeg. I don't use any other spices. And then vanilla. Okay? Simple as 1, 2, 3, right? So with the sweet potatoes, I have to run them over the sink because they are so hot, you guys. So, and I was trying to figure out how I can do this so that you guys can see, but it's sometimes hard to see the sink and everything. So anyway, I hope you can see. If not, we'll do our best. So now I'm just going to take see the sweet potatoes in this pot. So I'm just going to pour the water off. Woo! I'm getting a steam bath. Woo! Okay, so you can see they boiled for an hour. You can see how soft they are. So now I'm just going to have my bowl here, and you guys can see just what I'm doing. I'm just going to run cold water and basically try not to burn myself so bad, and just peel the sweet potato just like this. It peels really easily under cold water, just like this. And you can see how hot they are, but it's just peeling just like that. You take the little end piece off, right in the bowl. That's it. Okay. Next one, same thing. Okay, so what's your favorite dessert to eat on Thanksgiving, you guys? Is it sweet potato pie, or do you like some other kind of pie or some other kind of cake? Y'all let me know. There's so many desserts that you can make. Oh my gosh, like I love carrot cake. Carrot cake is my favorite. Strawberry cake is my favorite. I love cake, I love pies. I just don't eat them anymore like I used to. I still make them for people and give them to people as gifts. All right, there's another one, peeled, perfectly peeled. It's hot though, isn't it? Woo. And then one more sweet potato to go. Just peeling it under cold water. The skin peels right off, you guys. It's like magic. And there you have it, a beautiful sweet potato. And if you look at this, you can see I like to get them with this kind of shape. Just because the skinnier they are, the more like they'll have too many like what do you call it? Strands in it, you know, they won't be as smooth. All right, so the first thing that I do is I drain off any water that came with them because they're still hot. So now while it's hot, and you can see that smoke, so you know that these sweet potatoes are still hot. While they're hot, that's when you add the butter and the sugar, okay? And this is the reason why I do it like this, because this is how my mommy taught me how to do it so many years ago, right? Mommy taught me how to do it like this, because she said you don't want to have to like melt your butter in the microwave or anything like that, because if you just put them in the bowl with your hot sweet potatoes, then they will melt. But it's also why you never do the eggs right away, okay? So just so you know, you're not putting the eggs in right now because they'll cook. And you don't want to cook your eggs. You don't want to have scrambled eggs in your pie, right? So I'm just going to put it right in this bowl. 1 stick of butter. This is like the half sticks that they have now. So I like these because you can kind of control it. So this is 2 of these halves make a whole, right? So it just goes right in, okay? So I'm gonna scoot some of this over so you can see what I'm doing here in this bowl, okay? It makes for easier cleanup too if you can go ahead and like just, you know, dump your sweet potatoes out. Once you peel them, they just go right, the peelings go right into the trash. And then you're done. You don't have to worry about that. That part is done. Now I can use this pot for something else. That's why we're cooking in stages, so we could make use of all of our pots without having like 15 different dirty skillets in the sink and dirty pots in the sink. All right, so just move that over to the side, you guys. So the next thing to do is to do the sugar. So while the butter and the sugar are melting, that's the best time to go ahead and start this process. So let me get my measuring cup. I start with 1 cup of sugar. And really, you can do, if you don't want them too sweet, it really depends on how your sweet potatoes are, right? Because sometimes, depending upon where you live, like your sweet potatoes can be already sweet and you don't have to add, you know, the full 2 cups. But this is a measuring cup here that has 2 cups. So I'm just going to start with this is about 2 3/4. It's not quite full 2, but I kind of sometimes wait to see if I'm really going to need the full 2 cups. But as you can see, this butter is going to go down off in here, and this butter is melting like almost instantly. And I love doing it this way because that butter is going right in with these beautiful sweet potatoes, you guys. Oh my goodness. These are some really pretty sweet potatoes. They are so orange. Now, I have never made a pumpkin pie in my life, but I will say I am going to make some pumpkin bread. But I like sweet potatoes just because it's part of my culture is to do sweet potatoes, sweet potato pie. And so the butter is melting. Now I'm going to add the sugar and let it all melt together. As you can see, I'm reserving because I may not need the full 2 cups. So I did like 1 3/4 or something like that. Now you can see how this is coming together already. The butter is melting and the sugar is melting so easily. And that may be all that I need to add in terms of sugar. Now I've already rinsed off the tops of this, but I'm gonna do it again. The evaporated milk. Now it's time to do the evaporated milk. This is the bowl for the eggs. I'm gonna use 3 eggs. So I'll set that over to the side. Now, as you can see, I start with the butter and I start with the sugar and then I go into the milk because I want to make sure that the sugar is melted. I want to make sure that the butter is melted before we start adding any other ingredients. And essentially, once the milk gets in, then we start almost like the cooling down process of this batter because it's really hot. And it looks like all the butter pretty much is melted. I have just a little bit left, as you can see, but that little part there is just gonna go right in here and just continue melting. So we have all the butter and all the sugar that is melted. And you kind of want to taste it to see where you stand before you and believe it or not, that's already sweet. And we haven't even added the other ingredients. Sometimes, the other thing is sometimes when it's hot, it's hard to tell how sweet it is because it'll cool off. Once it cools off, you can taste the sugar more when something is cool than when it's hot. So I'm gonna start opening up this evaporated milk. Do I have another can up there somewhere? All right, so I'm opening up the can. This is one of my favorite pies to make just because it's so easy to make. It really is. It's so easy to make. So simple, so easy. You can already taste that sugar, but it's got a lot of strings in it, so we're gonna have to de-string it. Let me just get a little more. Now, I wanna make sure that before I add the milk, I pretty much got it sweet. The milk is gonna add some sweetness too, you guys. So because this is a sweet potato pie, this evaporated milk has to be incorporated in here very well. You want a smooth batter, and I haven't even used the mixer yet, which is gonna be kind of hard because I think this bowl is kind of too small. We'll try to see how we can work it out. We may have to put the mixer on a very slow setting so that we don't get pie filling everywhere. Okay, so we're adding the milk. You can see how it's coming together. I hope you can see it. Yep, I think you can see it pretty good. All right.